Hey, this is I. Let me check. I clicked the go live, and I'm trying to click the thing on go live, and it won't let me. Oh, but now we're on the
You're good.
monitor. So I think we're good. I feel like every week, what are we saying? What are we doing? Let me get a refresh here, and I think we are good. I guess we're gonna keep talking.
We're going to keep talking. We have a special guest with us today, so we have to be
We have
really
to be
sharp
on it.
today, Chuck.
We have to be on our game.
Yes, we
So,
are
well,
heading
that's
south
exciting.
with our
And
guest.
this is a manager who was in your is in your manager peer group.
Yes. So I met Angie a while ago, and
Yeah.
she's a very dynamic personality. So people are going to love hearing from her. And I also think it's great just to hear more about our Hanna footprint. So I didn't realize until just recently, we have 18 offices in Virginia.
Wow.
And
Okay.
yeah, so our like southeast presence is pretty good. So like when you're traveling down south, we have great partnerships with Allen Tate, with William E. Wood, with companies like that are part of the Hanna family, and it's a great presence. We'll bring Angie on. Personally, my connection with Virginia Beach is I have had in my lifetime two sisters at various times living in Virginia Beach. One while her husband was stationed there with the Navy, and it's a beautiful, beautiful area. So I'm excited to hear more of it from Angie and what the market is like, what successful agents are doing there. And it's also important for all of you who have people who want to move south. Now, every person doesn't want to go to Florida or Charlotte. There are other places to head south.
Yeah.
And Angie's going to talk a little bit about that too, because they do quite a bit of relocation. So we're going to make sure that you have Angie's contact
I feel like
information.
I feel like that's kind of like the long lost message that we forget about in real estate all the time is we're always trying to help somebody move from this street here over to this street over here. And sometimes we have to say, hey guys, don't forget, if you want to move from Buffalo, New York to blah, 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 Virginia, you know what? I've got partners there. I've got people I met.
Yeah.
I've worked with them. I know them. We were at the convention. We were at this. We were at that. We've got great, great relationships. Our brokerage, we're all across, from here to here down the East Coast. And even if you want to move beyond that, of course, through Leading RE, we have partnerships anywhere you want to move in the world. But by working with me through that transition, you're going to have another set of eyes on this. You're going to have somebody else who's following up, making sure that that person at that destination end of it is taking care of you, giving you the very best experience you can have. And I just feel like that's an opportunity that we often don't take advantage of.
I agree. We don't want to leave it to chance.
No. And speaking of leaving it to chance, I want to remind everybody and kind of let everyone give a little update on the show is, of course, we've been live on Facebook for the longest time. But we're also now live streaming to your YouTube channel, Realtor Avery, and my YouTube channel, which I think is just Charles Flynn Realtor. And so like and subscribe, because that's what I hear everybody with a YouTube channel say, like and subscribe, like and subscribe.
Yes.
I don't know. If you want to like and subscribe, great. It's not gonna change my life. But if you want to watch the show on a Wednesday morning and for some reason, maybe the Facebook interface, or you get onto this, you could get onto that. And, I have YouTube through my Roku interface at home on my TV. Like I watch it all the time. So it's permeating all those cracks and getting into my life in new ways. So
Great.
Well, all right. Well, Angie's been waiting so patiently. She's awesome. And so you want to bring her on? Want me to bring her on?
Sure thing. Let's bring Angie on.
Let's do it. All right.
Hi, welcome.
Hi, good morning. Coffee cheers.
All right,
Thank you
Lisa.
for having me on today.
All right. You knew the claps were coming, right? You were thinking Chuck's going to bring on the sound effects. He's got a guest. He's excited. So
yes. So Angie, why don't you start off? Just tell us a little bit about the Virginia Beach, Norfolk News, all the different Newport News, Norfolk. Tell us the geography, because obviously I don't know. I know Sandbridge Beach. I love that.
So Virginia, most of the time when people think of Virginia, they're either thinking of, the area near DC, which we call Northern Virginia, or Virginia Beach, which is part of Hampton Roads. Hampton Roads has had many names. Some might know it by Tidewater, some know it by Hampton Roads, and they did try to rebrand it as Coastal Virginia. Didn't take as much. And, in Virginia, we kind of have it all. We have mountains, we have beaches, rivers, bays, and There's something for everyone here. Within Virginia, we have 8 MLS systems. Yes, 8. We have 8 MLS systems within Virginia. So when we talk about the Hampton Roads region, that covers 7 cities. It covers from Williamsburg area on down to Virginia Beach, Suffolk, Norfolk. So we have a very large presence in this part of Virginia.
Do you notice a lot of people moving from this area and this area? And so you really need to be members in all those different MLSs?
No, the average agent here will drive about an hour-ish.
Yeah, I think that's the same.
To get from here to, say, Fredericksburg could take 2 hours. To get to Arlington, which is right outside of DC, could take 6 hours because traffic is a big thing up there. So a lot of times we'll just refer it. But locally, you'll have an agent from Virginia Beach go sell in Williamsburg because that MLS overlaps the Williamsburg MLS and they can get access, right?
Yeah. I feel like our MLS covers pretty much I can find properties, any property my buyers are looking for in our MLS. And I really don't need to try to be a member of that or that. What do you think, Lisa? How many MLSs do we have? I have no idea.
We have our alliance, which is a membership of 3 different MLSs.
Yeah.
With at least 4 associations. So our members, but can get the access to information. But like I think Angie's saying too, there does come a point where you say, okay, that's too far, right? Mm-hmm. And we have different contracts in those areas. Yes. So you might not be familiar, even differently. Yeah, access to those houses. Yeah. But I think we in most of Buffalo and Rochester will be similar with that kind of hour and under to really know the market too.
Yeah.
And do your customers a good service.
Yeah. And in our area too, the price points vary. So, I mean, we got everything from $60,000 to a $12 million house and at the oceanfront. Williamsburg, their average price point is about, $460,000. Whereas
when I think of Williamsburg and Colonial Williamsburg and the amusement parks, how much of that market is year-round residents? Is it like we call them snowbirds up here, right? They're going to go south for the winter, then come back. Do you get people just seasonal in your area?
Yes, we have seasonal people all throughout Hampton Roads because of the weather. We have very wimpy winters here. I think, and I'm a native. I was born and raised here. I'm a Navy brat. So yeah, we have the seasonal people, but because of our wimpy winters, a lot of people actually end up buying a permanent resident here.
Okay.
Hey, Angie, let me ask you a question because we've got a question from one of our viewers. And, for agents that maybe want to be licensed in other states, what does it take to be licensed in Virginia?
It's almost embarrassing. So we have a lot of brokers.
Because I feel like New York can be a little embarrassing, but okay.
It's 60 hours.
All right. 6. Okay.
But then after you get your salesperson license, that first year you have to do an additional, what we call post licensing within your first year. So it makes it comparable to Carolina. Carolina is a broker state, and a lot of our agents have dual licenses within the Howard Hanna footprint. So they'll be based, say, out of our Great Bridge office in Chesapeake, but also do business in Elizabeth City or the Outer Banks.
So tell me so that's very interesting. I love this idea of fewer hours to get started, but then more hours. Cause I feel like that's really, now you're in it and what you're learning is so much more applicable, right? Like you can only absorb so much in pre-licensing. So how much more is that after your license? You said the first year you got to do blah, blah, blah more.
It's an additional 30 hours.
Okay.
Within that first year. But then probably we have to renew our license every 2 years. And to get your broker's license, you have to be licensed 3 years, take 4 additional classes, pass those classes, and take another PSI exam, like a state exam.
Yeah, we have to do another. In New York, it's 77 hours. But you got to wait 5 years before you can get a broker license. And that's another.
I would love if Virginia did 5 years. Would love it.
Yeah. So then you got, I think it's another 77 hour. Is that 45 or 77 hours?
I think 45 for the broker.
I think it's 45. There were some agents who who hadn't done, they were on the 45-hour salesperson license. And then when they go for their they got the so it's another 45-hour for the broker license, but you have to wait. It used up until like what, 3 years ago, maybe it was only 2 years as a licensee. Now they've changed it to 5
Yeah,
years.
that's a recent.
And I think that's a smart move.
And I know Virginia has
disagree.
reciprocity too. I just don't know which.
Bring it on. Cool. All right. Well, okay. So 60 hours and then another 30 hours. That's an interest. You know, it's funny. Like, I never even thought of that as let's try as something to do. I mean, that's.
I like it. So do you have many, so you talk about the agents in your market who would cover 2 states because they live right there. Like south of us, you had mentioned Erie, Pennsylvania, you have some family from, like, you might have people in that region in southern New York bordering Pennsylvania that would have licenses in 2 states. And then up here in Western New York, we have agents who are dual licensed, New York and Florida. So do you have, we talk about people moving back and forth. Do you have many agents that are part-time in another state and part-time in Virginia and selling in both places?
Most of our agents live in Virginia, but I have an agent. He owns a house in the Outer Banks and he's there all the time. So he does business in the Outer Banks. We're talking about Kill Devil Hills, Corolla, North Carolina. Yeah. Nice. So a lot of people come to Virginia Beach to vacation and a lot of us here go to the Outer Banks. So, and then, of course, the cost of living, the cost of houses is much higher in Hampton Roads versus like Elizabeth City, which is right when you hit North Carolina, if you're leaving from Chesapeake. So a lot of agents, because it's maybe 40 minutes, their client may start in Chesapeake, Virginia, and then decide to cross over into Elizabeth City. But North Carolina is a broker state, so you have to have, if you're going to do reciprocity, you have to have a broker's license in Virginia. But from what I've heard, the Carolina test is quite difficult.
Wow.
Okay. And my understanding too recently is New York doesn't have reciprocity with anyone anymore, that everyone has to. Yeah.
I thought we had Pennsylvania still.
I don't think so.
I think you don't have to take the course. You can just take the test.
Possibly. Yeah. But it's no longer easy just to say, hey, here, I have it from this state. Let me get it in New York.
No, none of that. No. I consider reciprocity these days basically just getting a waiver on whatever the hours are, and you can just go to that state and take the exam, and if you pass it, you're licensed, right? Like, to me, that's reciprocity, not just like I'm licensed here, so hey, wink wink, I'm also licensed over there.
Good.
No,
all right, so
no bueno.
Angie, so tell us now, Angie, one of the things that, I connected with, because you're great on social media. You're great at promoting your agents' listings, promoting sales, promoting what's going on in the office. And has that always been something that's come easy to you? Is that something that you've had to learn as the industry's changing? How have you been getting to the point that you're at now, which I find impressive? So.
I have a very long background. I started off as a training coordinator for the local MLS system. I went into the IT world, did an internship somewhere, and then got hired by the local MLS. So I've always kind of been a trainer. I've always been wanting to help agents. So tech stuff comes very easy to me. And so the brokers in our area are non-compete brokers. So we're just about, the agents are our clients. So the thing I love to do is to teach them to use like Canva. Canva's great, but Canva can be overwhelming to some people. Just a little side tip, use the pro version because there's so much more. And then showing agents kind of how to take their personal taste out of things that they do a little bit for their consumers. The office, we love to showcase agents, like, of course, it's work plus play, right? So when we have socials or we do those things, and we like to highlight their listings too, because you never know when you share a listing, who else is going to see it, right? But yeah, I think just because tech comes a little easy to me, I love to share that knowledge with, everyone really. Anyone
You
that'll
know what
listen.
Angie, you know what I feel like I feel much the same way. Like I feel it comes easy to me. However, it really doesn't come easy to me. I'm just not afraid to fail. Like I legit
Mhm.
am just curious. And I'm like, oh, let's see what that does. I've, and it works out and sometimes it doesn't. Right. And I
Mhm.
just kind of work, I mistake my way into what I want. Right. And I make plenty of mistakes. And,
Yeah, and you can't
I,
break anything, right?
you legit
Yeah, you
can't
can't
break
break it.
anything.
If you post something you don't like it, you just hit delete, go remake it, and
Right.
post it again. And I
Exactly.
and that statement right there, don't be afraid to mess around and fail because again, if you don't like it, you just hit delete and redo it.
Yeah. I think as my guy, Seth, he always says, the most successful person is just the one who fails the most. Right.
Right.
It's ironic, but he goes, I fail at almost everything I do. It's just the few things that are really successful that, he's really known for. So gosh, if you knew, all the ideas that have not succeeded.
So tell us, Angie, what else? Like if we were to, look at your phone or your laptop, what are your favorite apps? What are your favorite tools? Whether it's a Hanna tool on the dashboard, whether it's, I mean, you mentioned Canva. I love that now when we get items from the marketing department, it comes with Canva templates. Like we've been talking about. I love that downsizing seminar idea. And everything you need is right there. Here's a Canva template for the
Right.
flyer, for the invitation. So I'm a big Canva fan too, but tell us what else you like and what else you've been teaching lately.
One of the things, because some people are newer to social media, or they're like, I don't know what to post. Agent Icon is amazing. It emails you literally every day, one image,
Right.
or if you're at a house and you're getting a listing, you can take a picture, text it to the Agent Icon number, and then you'll get probably 10 images to choose from. We love Agent Icon. On my phone, I pretty much live in Canva and CapCut. That's just, because what we do is we do postings for the agents, but we will also make them a reel for their new listing. So me and my marketing admin we just live there. But a lot of my agents have seen a lot of success with Percy, which used to be buy side. Not only is it in their email signature, but the QR code, it's on everything. We do postcards that go out to neighborhoods. We'll go into our tax records and try to pull properties that people have lived there forever. Especially with this downsizing seminar that is coming out, we were trying to target people who we think would be in that bracket. But that QR code that you can make for your Percy site, and you just do it on the back end, you just grab it. It has done wonders. I don't compete, but I try to generate business for the office, and I've gotten some hits off of it as well. So if you haven't done Percy on your own house, I recommend you do it, because the coolest thing to me is when I put in my address, the background images shows my house in my neighborhood. It's like the Google view, which makes it more personable. And then as soon as they slide that bar, they have to put in information, and then now it's a warm lead.
Yeah.
I think, and that's a subscription. Like Percy, the owner, if the owner says, yes, I'm the owner of this property, and they verify it through Facebook or one of the other interfaces, they can get a monthly update, which is fantastic. I love Percy.
I think too, like the power of Percy, I always use the example. I think I probably get 5 or 6 a month. Because as I've sat with agents, I'll say, look, this is how it works. I'm going to put in my address. I'll show you how you do it. And so I get from 5 or 6 agents every month an update on my personal house that I live in every day. And I probably once every other month, I click the button like, yeah, let me see what it thinks the value is. I'm in real estate and I still click the button to say, what do they think my house is worth? It's crazy.
Right. Same.
For agents the agents that want to do print advertising, right? Which is, there's absolutely a place for print. And Percy is the solution. Like the only thing you need to really do is say, what's your house worth? Put your QR code on it, put your name under it, and put it out there. And somebody will see that. I actually put the QR code on the back of my business card, and it says, what's your house worth? So a lot of times on the, like your message board at your coffee shop or the gym or the whatever, I'll put 2 cards up on the bulletin board. One will be, you know, the front, which just shows me, but I'll do another card reverse that as somebody walks by and they see a question, what's your house worth, with a QR code, you know, try to catch somebody's, you know, kind of like a, what do you call that? An interruption, right? Like a, you know, like a scroll interrupter, right? They're looking at the board and, oh, they see a question. Somebody's asking a question, you know, and oh, what's that? And then, oh, boom, everybody knows what QR codes do, thanks to COVID.
Yeah,
So,
who knew they would come
COVID.
back, right?
Right.
The other thing we did with Percy is, so we did this, we tested out like a postcard series that me and the admin I work with came up. So, you know, when you put in your address, there's a heat map.
Right.
Yeah. We took a screenshot of that heat map because we were targeting the specific neighborhood and said, want to know how many buyers are looking at, you know, how desirable your neighborhood is, scan here, and then had a picture of the heat map. And then at the bottom of Percy, it also shows like how many people we have. So we took a screenshot of that and made it another postcard. So if you're targeting a neighborhood, you could just put in any address and then use the heat map and the information at the bottom, make 3 or 4 postcards out of it.
I love it.
I sense a new show, Lisa, coming up in the future.
Yeah.
I think a show all about Percy.
I think, and what I love about it is you know, it's one thing like, okay, use Percy, but like you're giving us really specific. Postcard 1 should look like this, postcard 2, postcard 3. And what you're doing, I think it's like that little teaser, you're giving them a little information, but then they have to call you for more, which is the point of all of it. You know, sometimes agents are reluctant because they think, I don't want to give them all the information. And I agree. Don't give them everything, give them a little bit. And that's why you get mostly, I mean, some of our more rural areas, you'll only get 2 values, but for most of them, you get 3 values. And then the realtor is the one to help you narrow it down within that range. You know, what's the actual value? So all of those always push back to your realtor needs to tell you the rest of the story.
And the Percy lead that you get could lead to the home physical that, you know, we've been talking about. Like just drop it off and say, you know, you may not be interested today, but here it is.
Right. Love the home physical. That's cool.
Right.
All right. What do you want us to ask about Virginia that we haven't asked?
Well, I would like to talk about the referrals because my office, Hampton Roads, like I said, goes from Williamsburg down to the ocean front. You know, we cover Gloucester, Isle of Wight. So we have this wonderful thing called the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel. If you're coming to the beach, you need to cross that tunnel by 9 a.m. during the summer. Just a FYI, after 9:30, you're going to be backed up for hours during the summer. So if you have someone that wants to buy a second home anywhere in Virginia, please reach out to me. If my office doesn't do it, I'm happy to recommend, because again, I'm born and raised here. I know agents in all areas, whether we have a Hanna office there or not. Also, you are a part of Leading RE, which is a great network as well. I was a former Relo director, so that Leading RE network is huge. But the Hanna footprint is so much nicer. Right? Less of a referral fee. But, you know, it's who you know. So if I don't have an agent that does it, I know agents with Hanna that are in Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Gloucester. We do have some agents in some of the other markets as well. And we have a lot of military here, but we also have other industries here as well. In Richmond, Virginia, VCU, which is Virginia Commonwealth University, is Virginia's largest employer. So we're always seeing people come in and out of our area. I would love to earn your referral. And of course, if I have anyone in your area, I'll reach out to Lisa to kind of pass that on as well.
Yes. Yeah. And I think, you know, what I like about it too is, you know, when the agent here contacts you, they're contacting you about somebody they know, right? And so they're going to say, I want someone, whatever. And then you, knowing the agents there, can make it a good fit. You know, I know the last 2 referrals I placed, I knew the qualities that each one of these clients was looking for. And the referrals really worked out great because it was such a good fit between the agent and the client. And I think that's one of the great things of having someone to talk to, being able to call Angie and say, all right, here's my client. They're either buying, selling, what have you. Here's a little bit about them. And that fit is so important.
Absolutely. It's so much better than typing in a random real estate referral. Hey, I need an agent in, Buffalo, New York.
Right. I reload my stepmother down in Florida, and I had to say to the agent, I said, listen, no slight against you, but just so you know, she's not going to sign anything until I look at it. So if you're not okay working in that situation, let me know, because you're going to have to CC me on everything. But it worked out great. And the agent, she's like, I get it. I have parents. Mm-hmm. I'm good with that. And it worked out great. So, all right. Well,
nice answer for you.
Well, not much, because we don't have much time left, because today is the last day of our certified buyer specialist course. And we want to make sure everybody gets to that, because I'm sure, like you, we have changes coming in a couple months, and we are making sure that our Hanna agents are the most ready in the industry.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. I look forward to connecting with you guys again. And again, thank you so much.
Oh, we're connecting. We're definitely. Yeah, maybe we can steal her from your peer group into my peer group. I mean, I think
she's lavender.
No, she looks like be great for the purple group. So
I think, and so, and Angie, I did tell Angie, Chuck, our philosophy of no comment left behind. So Angie promises in our Facebook group, she will be adding her contact information. You can email, text, call, reach out to her, follow her, friend her. And if you have a question about Virginia and you want to know more about it, I'm sure that she would be happy to help you directly, which is awesome, because having that friend in another state who's going to help you is really fantastic. So when you reach out, let her know you saw her on the show, and she'll be quick to answer your questions.
Thank you so much.
Once again, Lisa, you got the closing thought. Fantastic. Cheers, everybody.